You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Damasiewicz.
And now, Justin, we'll move on to your favorite part of the show and one that is quickly becoming my demise.
You might have a shot today.
Uh-oh. That makes it worse. The last question, I've been getting it so hard from people because it was about Russell Wilson, of all people. Not exactly some obscure stat.
That's true. Well, I'm going right into your wheelhouse here because for this week's edition of Stump Daniel, which is brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey A. Damasiewicz, we are going to play Name That Mariner.
Ooh.
Here's how this game works. I have 5 hints. I'm going to give you a hint. You get to try to guess the Mariner. If you get it wrong, I'll give you another hint, and you get a guess after every hint. After 5 hints, if you still can't get the Mariner correct, you lose.
Okay.
But, you know, you look, the further through it you get, you look dumber and dumber. Okay. Are you ready for your first hint in Name That Mariner? This member of the Mariners' 116-win 2001 team played for 7 major league teams in his career. Would you like me to name the teams?
Yeah, because otherwise that could be like half the team probably.
Okay. The California Angels, the Cleveland Indians, Houston Astros, Baltimore Orioles, Texas Rangers, Seattle Mariners, and Oakland Athletics. That is in order, the teams that this Mariner played for. Do you have a legal situation and need someone on your side? Let the law office of Jeffrey A. Damasiewicz be your advocate. If you've been the victim of medical malpractice, suffered a personal injury, or need representation with real estate law, small business law, or estate planning, let Jeff Damasiewicz put his 29 years of experience to work for you. Call Jeff Damasiewicz today at 360-612-3991 or visit damasiewiczlaw.com. That's DAMASIEWICZLAW.com.
And I get to guess after every one. I don't lose. Okay, Arthur Rhodes.
It is not Arthur Rhodes, but that's a good guess because I think he also played for the A's after the Mariners did too, didn't he?
He played for a few of those teams, I know, but he was a reliever, so he probably played for like 14 different teams.
Okay, this hint will probably help you almost not at all.
Oh, great!
This player had a brief stint as a color commentator for baseball games on ESPN, and he currently serves as part of the Texas Rangers broadcast team on Fox Sports Southwest, which I know you watch all the time.
Oh, I feel like that should help, but it doesn't. I remember somebody interviewing. Gosh, they do so many. I listen to a lot of games, and so I remember them interviewing. This guy used to play for us, and now, but no, I don't even have a guess after that one.
No guess. Okay, so we're through 2 hints.
I guess I could just start eliminating people. So I'll say, let's see, we'll go with Mark McLemore.
Oh my gosh, that's it! Drop the mic, Daniel Hargrove. You have avoided being stumped.
Yes.
After saying that he didn't have a guess for that round.
Yes.
Okay, well, would you like to hear the rest of the hints?
Yes.
Okay, the next hint was going to be this switch hitter batted .259 in his career.
I think I would have gotten it after that one.
Okay. The next hint was during the Mariners' record-breaking 2001 season, this player hit .286 and played 6 different positions in the field. Everything except pitcher, catcher, and first base.
I definitely would have gotten it after that one.
And I figured if there was the fifth hint was like, I think almost an automatic. The fifth hint was this player's primary claim to fame was his nickname, the Super Sub, which he earned due to his contributions to the 2001 through 2003 Seattle Mariners. And I'll add, I got a little more information on him I thought was interesting. During the club's regular second baseman during the 2000 season. So the year before 2001, he was the regular second baseman. And then in 2001, they acquired Brett Boone. So Brett Boone took his spot. And then McLemore was very openly bitter about losing his job. And the way that Lou Piniella appeased him was by letting him play all the different positions whenever anyone took a day off. So he played left field, third base, shortstop primarily, but he also played second base, center field, right field, and they even let him DH sometimes as well. So during that season, he had a big contribution, but the reason he got on the field was because he was upset that Brett Boone came in and took his spot and that Lou Piniella allowed him to play other positions to make him happy.
Nice. Boone, who ended up having probably close to an MVP season that year, too. He actually received some votes, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for Ichiro, he might have been MVP.
All right. So, do we got is that it?
That's the Stump Daniel. You avoided being stumped this week. I'm
we
impressed.
just shortened the show by like a half hour.
Do we have celebratory music?
No, there's no celebratory music.
Well,
I didn't prepare for this.
We didn't anticipate that you would get the questions right.
Well, I figured. I mean, my two guesses kind of show that I was like, he's not gonna go with like one of the mainstays. He's not gonna go with like Ichiro, Olerud, Martinez, Moyer, Boone, Carlos Guillen. Like, I was like, it's got to be a little bit off the wall. So that's why I went reliever in the first one. And then the second one, like I said, it was a shot in the dark because I was like, well, if I can eliminate one of those random people, it might help me down the road before I even have more information.
Well, I almost went with Jeff Nelson, but his hints were like dead giveaways. So I couldn't figure out any kind of a way to make it not hard to guess. But apparently I didn't make it hard to guess enough anyway. So next time I come up with a Stump Daniel that's named that Mariner, I'm going to pick someone off like the 2008 team from the bench.
People who nobody's ever heard of. That will be great. Well, shoot, maybe since this ended so quickly, maybe I should ask you my question that I was kind of thinking about for a future revenge Stump Justin segment.
That's not a thing.
But I don't have any hints.
He needs a sponsor.
What do you think? Should I save it for a later date?
No, I think you should stump Justin.
All right, Justin. I will ask you the question and then I will start furiously Googling hints in case you need some help.
As long as you Google furiously, I think we'll be fine.
Furiously Googling. All right, Justin, this Seattle Mariner has one of the most famous hits in Mariners history, and it came in the 1995 one-game playoff against the California Angels at the time, where he hit a kind of an inside-the-park grand slam that had at least one error in it. Broke open the game.
Joey Cora.
That is incorrect. All right, your second hint, since I'll stick with the same format. Okay. He did play infield for the team, primarily shortstop.
Alex Rodriguez.
That is also incorrect. Let's see. He finished his career with the New York Yankees.
Alex Rodriguez.
You already guessed him. You want to try someone else?
No. Hold on.
Are you Googling it?
No.
Let's see.
It doesn't count as
In
Google if he's asking Siri.
1995, he hit 289, and let's see, what else can I tell you about him? He hit 289, and he played primarily shortstop for him. Let's see, 1995. He played shortstop in 80 games. And his last name, if you pronounced it differently, no, that doesn't help. I was thinking of something else. I can't think of any better hints to give you. I mean, that hit is like the most iconic moment that he ever had, really.
I give up.
All right. I'm sorry. I couldn't come up with more hints quickly for you. I feel like I kind of didn't go with the format that was set aside for today. The player was Luis Soho.
Oh, I never would have got that. Also, I would like to point out that if you're beating yourself up over not having the format correct, your producer told you to go with it, even though you experienced doubt. So I would say it's Andrew's fault.
No,
Okay,
it's Justin's
good.
fault. He couldn't answer the question.
So
Also,
the reason
you
why
shouldn't
this
be
came up,
apologizing to Justin for stumping him, Daniel. Get with the
Yeah.
program.
take it. This came up
There-
because I was just watching a crazy documentary about how messed up the Mariners franchise is as a total from beginning to end. And that was like one of the last plays that they showed in part 2 of this documentary. And it just reminds me again how weird it was. Another stat about that play that I didn't know is so the first part. So he hit a ground ball, bases were loaded. I believe the game was tied at the time. If not, it was a 1-run game. 6th, 7th inning. And first of all, I remember exactly where I was when that happened. I was parked outside the old YMCA in Hoquiam, and I had to go in to do something for some reason because it was a weird afternoon game. The game started at like 1 in the afternoon. And so I had to go into the Y for some reason. I can't remember what it was. And we heard that the bases were loaded. So we stayed in the car and listened to that at bat. And he grounds the ball down the right field line. The first baseman lunges for it, barely nicks his glove on it, but didn't dive. It goes down into the right field corner into the Angels bullpen bench. The outfielder comes over, digs it out of the bench, throws it to the cutoff man, which for some unknown reason the pitcher decided to be. And Mark Langston, the pitcher, fires it wide home, and it goes to the backstop. And then he covers home since the catcher had to run and get it. And then Soho slid into Langston's leg right before the ball got back to him. So what ended up happening is you could maybe say that the first baseman misplayed it. I'm not sure if that was characterized as an error. The throwing error by the pitcher, who shouldn't have been the cutoff guy at all, but decided to do it. And an interesting stat about that is both of that first baseman and that pitcher, Mark Langston, each won Gold Gloves that year.
I have a question about cutoff guys, Daniel, since you're the baseball aficionado. Where was that throw coming from that the pitcher cut off?
The right field bullpen. It was behind first base. So it should have been the first baseman.
It was, and I mean, I'm going to bow to your experience on this one. I thought that the pitcher was supposed to cut off throws to home from right field. What is the pitcher's responsibility? Are they supposed to be back up the catcher?
Yeah, the pitchers are supposed to be getting the heck out of the plate because they're not athletes.
Back up the catcher. Thanks. Go stand by the dugout.
Not all pitchers are not athletes, but yeah, pitcher throws the pitch and then goes and backs up. Not gets right in the middle of the play and firing balls all around to the backstop to let it get Luis Sojo, who was not fast, by the way, get an inside the park home run.
Well, what was the first baseman doing while the pitcher was stepping all over his toes?
You know, I have to watch the highlight again, but I think he was like right behind, like he was like right where he was supposed to be for the cutoff. But the pitcher was just off in Nowheresville and decided, hey, I'm going to grab this cutoff and wing it home and over the catcher's head.
Have you guys watched much of the
Also, another interesting stat, Mark Langston was actually traded for Randy Johnson, who the Mariners used in that game as their pitcher. Thank you again to the law office of Jeffrey A. Damasiewicz for sponsoring Stump Daniel.